Hey Aquarius, welcome to the flowering. I'm so glad you chose me to do your December 2018 reading. We're going to do a pick a card format, so I'm going to shuffle, get you 3 cards set out here from the Psalms deck, and then we are going to clarify. All right, so Aquarius, before I did your reading, I was feeling like, you know, that uncompromising attitude that you usually lead with, maybe not for the best. I mean, not maybe for the best, but maybe not for the best. In some, you maybe need to be careful. In some areas, you are wanting to be a little more compromising, but that's a part of your nature. So just know that being uncompromising is not necessarily a negative trait until it's blind. You know, you do it in a blind manner, okay? So the feeling that I get is that you are feeling a little more compromising in some areas. And it's funny because I hear, well, this is just who I am. So it's almost like you feel like that's one of your best qualities or something. A good quality, you honor that quality in yourself often. You praise it. This is who I am, you know. Yeah. Some of you have been playing some relentless games out here. I say relentless, but it seems like that stubbornness or unwillingness to give in could be becoming a little toxic and taking you out of character. I don't get the feeling that that's the energy for December. I get that that is what's causing you to think, you know, maybe I need to chill a little bit, you know, with this energy. You feel like you're losing yourself to that one quality. And Aquarius is funny because, you know, to be the guardian of the new age almost, it's like, of this age that we're in, it's like there is a more accepting energy with the Aquarius age. You know what I mean? There's a more accepting energy, more free flowing, and it's odd because you're the fixed sign. I say but you know, you're a fixed sign. So that energy that you finding to be a tad toxic right now is meant to be brought back to balance. Man, it took me a minute to get that 3rd card for y'all. So the way I'm doing the readings today, like I said, gonna take a moment to pick a card 1 through 3. Then we're gonna clarify. So let me unplug for a moment. Okay. Just take a minute. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Wow. Some of you dealing with the loss of a friend, a close friend, someone who's been a part of your life for a long time or has meant a lot. I'm also hearing that this person is someone that you felt understood you, all parts of you. You were very vulnerable with each other. And it seems like you would have given anything for this person to stay with you, you know, in this realm. It feels like this person is on your mind constantly. And in some way you feel as if you are responsible for somehow responsible for how they left this earth, okay? This is very detailed, but for some of you, there could have been a sickness or an ailment. I'm hearing, okay, Aquarius, but I'm hearing an STD, or even, this could even be that you neglected someone when they were in a critical mental state. There's something that you are finding yourself at fault for in this situation. And this person loved you and doesn't hold you at fault. And if in fact this is tied to an STD or something of nature, then it's one of those things where they feel that what you shared while they were here was beautiful, and they don't blame you. They don't blame you. But you, wow. But you are, it's heavy. It's heavy. You feel a certain sense of guilt. Or, you know, I feel like in the end you could have been very, very, very adamant about giving something, you know, giving yourself for them so that they could live, you know, because you felt kind of guilty. Man, this could be anything. I'm feeling a sense of like, if this person had a drinking problem, you felt like you may have enabled them, or you could have taken a bigger role in helping them. Maybe you feel like you fed into it. I don't mean to open you guys' reading up like that, but that's what came. So, if you picked group 1, Psalms 122 and 5. Yeah. It's almost like this person, and this is probably a carry on from that message, that if you picked group 1, one message is, and if you picked group 1 and you resonate with the message that came at the beginning, this person is saying, you were by my side then, and I'll be by your side for all of eternity. It's like, I'm saving a seat for you. I have no regret about what we shared, and it's not your fault. Man, it's like I'm saving a place for you. I heard, I'm talking to God about you right now. That's what I heard. And that almost made me cry because, yeah. Psalms 122 and 5, it reads, there the thrones of judgment stood, thrones of the house of David. Don't be so judgmental. At every turn, we are judged by others, which over time takes a devastating toll on our self-confidence and self-esteem. I get the feeling that this relationship was likely a private relationship. In the U.S., the judgment process begins at an early age, earlier than in preceding generations. Federal law requires kindergarten teachers, for instance, to inform parents if their children aren't learning their ABCs. The children, who may be young as 5, are designated not proficient. Constant judgment inevitably translates into constant self-judgment. You must overcome your propensity to be overly self-critical so you can love yourself and others. The next time you behave mercilessly towards yourself, look into the mirror and say, I love you, blank. I love you, Yonda. I love you, Yonda. You try. Okay. So I get this overwhelming sense that this could have been a same-sex relationship. And that, or not even same sex, but just a relationship that wasn't supported by outside people. Okay, so people outside the relationship had some judgments about it. And I don't know why I automatically jump to same sex, but it seems as if that's a huge thing right now. People are healing from judgments about their sexuality. So those judgments, before I pull clarifiers for whoever this group is for, if that first part of the video resonated with you, the judgments that you have received over all this time are actually what you're feeling as guilt. It's not true guilt. You know, you don't feel responsible per se, but you feel as if the way things unfolded was a punishment for your behavior. And it's just based on those criticisms. It's not valid in the least. So let's clarify here for group 1, Psalms 122 and 5. Oh yeah, some of you feel like you were kind of reckless. For group 1, let's just move on from that message. I believe that message was that message, okay? Group 1. Don't just stop judging yourself based on these past anything that you've done in the past, any leaps of faith that you've taken that haven't necessarily panned out well. I don't get the sense that this is leaps of faith, but I feel like anything that you did without thinking clearly about the repercussions, you're being asked to stop judging yourself so harshly about it. Okay? You're being asked to stop judging yourself so harshly. Because the fact of the matter is, your interaction with that other person was not only for you, but also for them. So if you, and just to dig back a little bit, if you were unknowingly a carrier of some type of disease or infection, and the other person whom you interacted with or were intimate with was needing to learn a lesson about being reckless in that way, you know, not protecting themselves and their body, not taking care of themselves and just protecting themselves. You know, if they were meant to be learning that lesson, then you did what you were meant to do. You can release the guilt. You may feel the need to reach out to this person, and you may be feeling like that's what you want to do, to let them know the truth of the situation. But yeah, we're not talking about anybody who's passed away. I mean that if you feel guilty about actions taken on your behalf, mistakes that you've made, things that you've rushed into without thinking about, and I go back to the first comment, but things that you've done without thinking about the repercussions, okay? You can release the judgments. You've actually been charged to release the judgments. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. So you had the Fool in reverse, like I say. So, I mean, let's look at it upright. This person is not necessarily looking at the fallout. You know, they're not looking at the dangers of the situation, what could occur if they take one more step. I also get the feeling that, you know, some of you may not have actually been in your right mind, honestly, when this happened. You know, when whatever this choice was that you made or move that you made, you could have not been being influenced properly. I say properly, but you could have been influenced negatively, is what I'm saying. The Eight of Swords is saying that it's asking you to let it go in your mind. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Because for some of you, I feel like that you are very passionate about the work you do. And I feel like that this could easily hinder you in being dedicated. You know, I do feel like that whatever this guilt is, whatever this guilt is, it's not letting you I don't know, it's not letting you rest. It's not letting you be as carefree and friendly and open and light as you usually are. Okay. There's an over focus on these things on the past period. Yeah, I get the feeling that this was just a lot of rushy energy, you know. Um, on a more positive note, I do get the feeling that this is something where if you made harsh judgments about a person based on just, you know, where you were at that time, because I feel like it didn't have anything to do with with an outside individual or situation. It was the way you reacted to it, or this person or situation was because of where you were. You know, it was where you were, you know, and you're being asked to just see that. Stop judging yourself so harshly about it, because you can't heal. You know, I get the feeling, I don't know why this is coming up, but whoever this group is, you know, you work with children or youth who are in a very vulnerable place and easily influenced. And so your internal dialogue can bleed out. If you feel guilty about your behaviors or relationships or anything like that, it can bleed out onto very vulnerable youth, if you know, if that's your group. Okay, so let's clarify further. The wounded healer, you know, some of the things that you, this just keeps coming up. So I mean, I send all love and light and healing, you know, to anyone who might be dealing with an STD or something like that. Your experience, once you've healed from your experience from this situation, you know, your story, you may become an advocate, you know, for youth, you know, just to be that face of, you know, caution, you know, just educating on being safe. Wow. Also drinking. So alcohol abuse, anything like that. I do get the feeling that, you know, if that is something that, if that's what you're healing from, if that's what you're releasing, then it's, yeah, yeah. Something like some type of missed opportunity based on, you know, maybe a drinking problem or whatever this thing was. You feel as if certain opportunities were missed. You didn't see the value in something because of the place that you were in. It's clarifying the Fool in reverse. And you feel foolish, you know, almost. Something that you did could have easily come in between um, two other people. Okay. Let's please clarify the Eight of Swords in verse, Five of Staffs. So this conflict about what is right and wrong in your mind based on your past experience. Like I say, this is lingering. This is lingering from, it's not true guilt. It's not true guilt. It's an illusion. Okay? What it is your mind tying what has taken place to the criticisms that you've endured based on your life choices. So you're being asked to address this battle within you. Acknowledge that literally The experiences that we're here having are our experiences to have. And we can draw out a painful experience if we want. They'll let us. They'll they'll let us draw it out. But you're being told that it doesn't have to linger. You can release it. The two of Pentacles came out with Two of Pentacles came out to clarify the Nine of Wands. And what you're not realizing with everything that is going on in your environment, in your mind, in your spirit, in your body, is that there is a cycle of healing that takes place. You know, someone harms us, we heal from it. And then someone who's just been harmed may come to us needing our help with healing. And so there's this cycle, you know, even when it's these types of things, you know, you hurt someone and then you feel punished, but you don't have to feel punished. You can take the experience, what you learned, and help someone else to heal. Okay. I also get the feeling that some of you, this is a past life thing. It's past life. So the guilt is feeling even heavier on you because it's something that is being brought to your awareness from a past life. So that's what I meant. It's like an illusion. You know, it's there. Everything took place the way it took place, obviously, but those feelings are deeper and heavier than they really need to be. Okay, I don't know why I'm still shuffling. Justice in reverse. Okay, yeah. For some of you, just feels like you didn't do the right thing. You could have helped this person, or you're feeling as if you want to make something right. So if you've been hiding the fact that something like that was going on with you, what just came to mind is this STD thing is huge right now. So public health, when you go to public health, you know, and you find that you have an STD or some type of infection that is a communicable disease, then you are charged with notifying everyone who you've been intimate with. This may be one of those situations where you skipped some people. And now you may be watching some people who are trying to figure out what's going on with them. They may be going through a hard time. They may be even in the hospital, and you're feeling this. And speak up, because guess what? Honestly, no matter how bad it feels, no matter how guilty you feel, would you want that person? That's where the guilt's for that first group, that first part of the reading. Someone feels as if they would have spoken up, something could have been avoided, you know, or maybe something could have been saved. Ooh, that's deep. I'm sorry. But I'm also being told that it doesn't have to be anything like that. You could be a way that you poisoned or gave whispers or whispered in someone's ear and caused and you basically brought some toxicity to a situation in general, you know, and caused it to fall apart, you know, based on some old wounds that you may have had. And the only thing we can do to make these things right, one, make it right within you. You can also seek it out. You could come clean about the truth. What's the truth and what's not. You know, it's never too late for that. Moving on to group 2. Psalm 66 and 15. The goat. That's what I heard. Okay, so the energy that I'm feeling around this card is, you know, being recognized as that dude or that chick, you know, in a situation. Whether you are the one who can get stuff done, you know, you're like the go-to for some folks. They see you as a power, as a great, powerful person. The people around you see you that way. Grounded, focused. But it's funny because there's something about their eyes being on you that has the opposite effect for some than other people. So like for some, having all eyes on them is like constant motivation. It's like boom, 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 I can do this. But for some, it turns toxic to where those eyes being on you, to where once at one point you were very proud and it made you feel great. The fact that those eyes are still on you, that they remain on you, is a burden for you. Psalm 66 and 15. I offer up failings to you with the odor of burning rams. I sacrifice bulls and he-goats. Give, just give. The prayer of St. Francis, which first appeared in the early 20th century, contains the thought-provoking words, "For it is in giving that we receive." Each of us is obligated to do our part in carrying out the divine plan, which will ultimately eliminate human suffering. We are called to play the role of giver, receiver, or both. Always remember that our wealth is actually the divine's wealth. Mine is the world and all it holds. Psalms 52 and 12 says. Whenever we give, we redistribute the divine's wealth. Mindful of this truth, be the giver that you are called to be, and you will emerge as a highly favored receiver of even more of the divine's wealth, so that you can redistribute even more of it. For this group, if you picked group 2, there's this need for you to acknowledge that your value doesn't come in what you produce, okay? You're being asked to see that what the eyes that are on you, they definitely see you as someone who gets stuff done, but there's something more that you offer to them other than just productivity and work. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that can help to release you from that cycle, that thought cycle of, oh, they're watching and I gotta do and I gotta do and I gotta do. Actually, just keep giving what you're giving, okay? Keep doing what you're doing because it's serving its purpose. Excuse me. It's serving its purpose in your relationships, in your work environment, in your community. There is so much more that you're giving than you can see, okay? Also, don't get over focused on accolade and praise. Remember, because anything that we accomplish down here, the glory goes to the divine, right? It goes to the divine. We were inspired by our divine selves and our connection to the universe. We were inspired in that way. So everything that has manifested is owned. I say is owned, but it's of the divine, right? So to build a false sense of, I say false, but to build your sense of self on accolade and praise can deter you from acknowledging the divine's role in the situation. In you receiving those gifts. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Please clarify Psalm 66 and 15 for Aquarius. Being asked to assess the give and take, acknowledge the accolade that you receive, the reward that you receive is meant for you to see what you give, for you to acknowledge what you give, okay? But the divine inside of you, if you're taking that time, will also help you to see the value in it will help you to acknowledge also what you are receiving from the situation. It'll also, I feel for a lot of you, you're being charged to pay attention because you're not getting what you deserve. Wow, that was a quick turn for y'all. So for some of you, yes, the accolade is coming in. And because you've gotten so used to the accolade, you are accustomed to being praised for the work that you're putting out. You may be tempted to work even harder than you should for what you're receiving. Yeah, some of you are being called to balance out give and take. You are giving, 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 and that's what you've been doing. I think this month you'll be closing out that I'm just gonna give and give and give and give, you know. And you want to make sure that there's a balance here in what's coming and what's going. And this could come from anyone. Some of you could be asking for a raise. Some of you could be even being offered a promotion. But the general message here for you, if you picked group 2, is that your value doesn't lie in what you're putting out here. You know, it doesn't matter how many awards you're getting for it or accolades you're getting. That's not where your value lies. You're being asked to go within and seek your true value so that you can then stand up for yourself and see that, yeah, they're giving me rewards, they're giving me plaques, and even offer me a promotion, but is it what I deserve? Is it what is meant for me? Does it really balance out my efforts? Yeah, for some of you, you could be looking to move away from just, an old job or situation, and you're being offered things to keep you in place. For some, I mean, it's not a negative thing. I'm not saying it's negative. I'm just saying that it's not going to bring you the celebration of self that you're meant to be experiencing. I say that's with the three of cups in reverse. You're not necessarily, the accolade is there, but your soul is not feeling as celebrated as it truly should feel. Yeah. I get the feeling that keeping up with the expectations that this group or this job or person might have for you is becoming more of a burden, and the burden outweighs what you're receiving. You love the work, I get that. It's your passion. It's what you're passionate about. However, your soul is screaming for more acknowledgement. Okay? Not accolade, acknowledgement, like for you to see value. And, when we follow our passions, because our passions are inspired by by the divine, right? So when we follow our passions, we are truly following our highest calling. Then our soul feels celebrated. Please clarify the justice card here. Our soul feels celebrated. Some of you are teachers. Like I heard youth ministers and things like that. So some of you are teachers, youth ministers, 4-H. That just came to my mind. It's like a youth program where they introduce them to like college programs and things like that, and some sports type of stuff too. I believe 4-H is that. But some of you are in that position where you have a good rapport with the people who look at you, the people you teach, the people you mentor, and you do feel a pull to follow that in a less systematic way, it seems. 3 of Coins paired with the Justice means that there is a certain system that you've been adhering to, and your soul is asking for a more passionate expression of this quality that you have that people love. Okay. Some of you want to start families, and your dedication to this position, you're around children. I feel like this is this is definitely working with youth in some way, but for some of you, you want to start a family. 10 of Pentacles. You want to start a family, and your third party is your work. work that you are passionate about. However, the way in which the system in which you share this, you do this, doesn't allow for a lot of flexibility, and you're asking yourself if you're going to be able to have a family and still pursue this passion. Hierophant down at the bottom. So yeah, definitely. Because the Hierophant is commitments and institutions, right? Marriage. Yeah, you're thinking about starting a family. You want to do that. You realize that there's definitely magician with the 10 of Wands. So you're ready to make a change. You're ready to do this. Really, I was gonna say your way, but you're ready to do this in a way that frees you. You don't want to be bound by the institution of anything. I said 4-H while ago, so it's like some of the programs and ideas that you might be having right now that are very much from your soul, from the divine, they're not being, you may not be getting the support in the organization that you're in, if that makes sense. Yeah. You don't feel like you have the decision-making authority that you need. And I feel like that's why your soul is calling you to assess, okay? To assess whether or not, I get the feeling that it's not. Your soul is definitely saying you need a more creative, free-flowing atmosphere so that you can do the work that your soul is calling you to do. The work that you're currently doing on a deeper, more profound level, okay? Group 2. All right, if you chose card 3, why am my hand shaking? 144 and 13. Psalms 144 and 13. Some of you, if you picked group 3, Aquarius, then you are looking at accomplishments. You're looking at the things that you've been able to store up, money saved. It seems like you're in this place now of feeling very accomplished. You know, you're proud of yourself, and well, it is December. So often in December, we're looking back on the things that we've done this year. How much have I accomplished that I set out to accomplish? So it seems that a lot of you are satisfied with it, honestly. But I do also get the feeling that you don't necessarily know where you're going to go next. So you're like, yeah, now I have this. Now what do I do? Now I've done this. What's next? And for me, that's a beautiful place to be, honestly. For me, that's a beautiful place to be. To acknowledge where you have been, where you are now, show gratitude, and then just like, okay, so now what? Where am I going to take these gifts, these values, these lessons that I've learned? All right. 144 and 13, it says, our storehouses are full, supplying produce of all kinds. Our flocks number thousands, even myriads in our fields. The glass is more than half full. Far too often we can't or won't see the fullness in our lives. If a homeless person who has a right to clothing, food, and shelter can be grateful for partially eaten pizza retrieved from a garbage can, we can be grateful for what we have, which in comparison is nothing short of plenty. Keep doing what you're doing. You're about to step into abundance, unlike anything you've experienced to date. You deserve it. Enjoy. Be grateful. Above all, share, said Rabbi Akiva. When a person sees that his or her livelihood is barely sufficient, he or she should nevertheless give charity out of it, and all the more so it is plentiful. Soon after the money starts rolling in, roll the dice. Give to the poorest of the poor, whatever number shows up, 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12% of your paycheck. Remember, if possible, give anonymously. So here, I really, really feel that this is one of those things where you are acknowledging all that has taken place, the value of it, what it's taught you, what you've gained, and are now looking for ways to give back. And that's beautiful. I think, in a sense, if this has just been a hard year of lessons for you, then you are now seeing the bounty that's been given, the bounty of wisdom that has been acquired, and you want to share it. And you're being told to. And yeah, it's not meant to just store. I think sometimes we think about charity as just money, or a way to help somebody all the way onto their feet. You may just help somebody from their knees to their feet, not from their face to their, you may help somebody from their face to their knees. You may not help them get all the way up to on their feet, but your help still progresses them and progresses humanity, right? So if you're asking what's next is find a way to share what you've gained, whether that's money, a new home, and you should have never been able to get that. Whatever way you feel you're being guided to give back to give back. Okay, whatever way you're feeling guided to do that. Okay, all these cards want to pop out for y'all. Okay. For some of you in this group, there may be, maybe you are still stuck. Maybe you're not seeing the abundance just yet. Maybe you are just now coming out of this difficult thing, or you're still looking at those situations and not able to pull the value from them just yet. That's going to be revealed to you soon. We have the Six of Swords in reverse, which means like you really just don't know which way to go yet, which is the way, I've come this far out of this. What moves me to calmer waters, what moves me to those calmer waters, if you're still feeling in it, this is what that's saying to you, is that you have journeyed through this, and now you'll begin to see value once you share insights with other people. Once you'll find yourself talking, and you may just be trying to vent, but then you'll see that what you shared and the experience that you've had is helpful. This is what's going to turn what you've gone through into your abundance. This is where you're going to begin to see and find the path of where you're supposed to go, because I feel for some of this group, you are being called to step into priesthood, for lack of better words. Priesthood is a good word. Priesthood is a really good word for that. So you're being asked to step into your priestly self, meaning that you're just taking on a role of teacher from experience, So, this is one of those things where the divine qualified you through experience. You don't have the degree, you don't have whatever else everybody else has that qualifies them, but the divine has qualified you through your trial and your experience. And although you feel that you still don't see the way forward, or how this is supposed to take you to better, the charge for you right now is just to begin to give back. That's what it is. Share what you've learned. The sun is in reverse. And like I say, this is you simply not seeing it yet. I really just feel that that's all that is. You're not necessarily seeing it because you haven't. Once we start sharing these things with people, they're the ones that are able to illuminate for us that it was helpful. You know what I mean? To them. We don't know that story is going to be helpful until somebody says, oh my gosh, when you told me that you'd been through this and that this is how you did it, I stopped to think about how I was processing through mine, and I was able to save my relationship. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to save my relationship. That's where we begin to see the light in something that we've experienced. For some of us, that's when, sometimes the divine will come in and be like, hey, I need you to see this before something else takes place. But for a lot of us, when we are brave enough to begin to share our experience, that's when we're illuminated. That's when we begin to see, okay, It added, didn't take away. Then we have the world card down here. So all of this is saying that once you start to share, you're going to begin to be built up in your spirit, your priestly self, almost like your stage is going to be built, your platform. I get the feeling for some people, if you share a lot on social media, in December or in early January, you're going to start getting a lot of feedback about what you about the effects it has on other people, what you're sharing, okay? You know, for some, you start getting paranoid about, dang, these people know everything. They've seen everything. In this next month or so, you're going to begin to get feedback to show you that, yes, we were watching, and you encouraged me. You inspired me to keep going. You started writing and you started sharing so deep, so much so many deep themes and feelings. You inspired me. You've opened up a lot of people's world and allowed them to view it in a different way. Even if you can't necessarily see things in a different way just yet. You know, like I say, it's a reciprocal relationship that we have with the people around us in the universe. You know, we go through something, we can't see the value, we help someone else in secret, and we don't even know we helped. They come and then they open our world up after we've opened theirs up unknowingly, you know? It's the way the divine works in us, in our environment, the people around us. It's a beautiful exchange. Would you please clarify the Six of Swords in reverse? The Three of Staffs, Temperance in reverse, Four of Cups in reverse. Yeah. So the Three of Staffs, you know, always being that seeing the ships coming in. So this is you. This is you now. You're gonna. Sagittarius is recorded already. If you'll go to the page, then you can click the Sagittarius. Thanks. So the Three of Staffs is you know, you're still, this is the feedback. This is where people are going to start shining light on just how valuable a valuable part of their life you have been. And I think in this ship, there's even more coming, more than just people's words, you know. So if you, for instance, or some type of guide or something like that on social media who's just been sharing experience, then you're going to see that people are now willing to, I say, pay for your services or just interact with you in a deeper way, because they've come to respect you, all right? And they want to share, they want to feed back, is what it sounds like. They want to feed back into your ministry because of what you've done for them, how you've inspired and motivated. Reverse and the Four of Cups. So I do get the feeling that, like I say, you are still not seeing how this all plays out. That's just clarifying that. You just don't see how it plays out. And in the month of December, I feel like you will be. Yeah. The Death card coming to clarify the Sun. So the cycle, that chapter of just sharing and just hoping that he's judging you, that's over. You know, what we're doing is you're realizing, and they're letting you know that you're transforming. Your transformation has transformed others. And that's what they really are hoping to, the universe, God, the people are hoping to instill in you as you move forward, is that, yo, what you've been sharing has been so transformative. What you've gone through, you know, we're seeing you. We've seen that you've stepped into your own, that you've accepted this or dispelled this or healed this, and we had some residual blessings come from that, and we want to bless you. So that's actually a beautiful thing too. We want you to come out of the dark. You know, the sun is ready to shine for you. You shine for us. Now we want to shine for you. I like that. That might be your caption. This bottom card wanted to come out. I just kept pushing it back. Yes. See, the Ten of Swords here to clarify the world. It's another indication that you're about to be bombarded with And okay, so the Ten of Swords, this is all, you know, ending of difficult situations. But I feel like these swords are gonna turn into feathers tickling you. Okay, so you're still laying there, you're not seeing the value, and as each sword is gonna come out as a person comes forward and says, hey, this is what you did for me. One sword is gonna pop out of your back, like, oh, then that was the purpose of that experience. This is what you meant. Oh my gosh, when I heard you say this did this for me, and I took this action, and this is how it turned out. All of these swords are going to start just coming up out of your back, you know. So all of these thoughts and things that you've held all the way up until now, because you couldn't see how any of this was positive, you're beginning to see it. And it's all because people are now sharing with you verbally, you know, through monetary exchange, or just anything, any kind of energy exchange that's happening is here so that you can start to see the value in what you've experienced. Six of Pentacles, that give and take from the universe. Like, hey, you put in hard work healing. Let's show you. I'm gonna show you what the proceeds were. You know, let me show you what you did, you know, out here. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that's the end of group 3. Let's see. For Aquarius in general, what can they look forward to for the month of December? 3 cards. What can they look forward to in the month of December? What's happening for Aquarius? 8 of Cups. In general, 8 of Cups coming out is saying to me, yes, 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 yes. I think it resonated with group 2, that you've been putting into things. You're asking yourself, do I need to walk away from this? You really are wanting to be balanced. So anything that you've been putting effort into that hasn't been fulfilling you, that has been seeming like more of a burden lately. Which one of these cards wants to come out? Let's pull them both. Anything that you've been doing, okay? Anything that you've been committed to, putting your hard work into, that once really fulfilled you, if you're finding that it's even remotely unfulfilling, you're definitely moving away from it. And there may be a need to defend your choices, okay? Some people will try to sway you away from this because it benefits them. You know, if this is an organization, job, company, whatever, it benefits them for you to remain with them. You know, your work there is great work, you know, and you love that work. But you're asking yourself if you want to keep putting effort into something that the divine might be moving you away from. And you will be charged with defending your stance as you make that move into something else. You will be dropping resistance as well. You'll be dropping the resistance to the universe pushing you in this direction. I hear no longer leaning to your own understanding. Okay, that's the message for you guys. I'm getting ready to record whoever's next. I can't think of who's next. So I'll be putting up live videos all day. If you're interested and you want to be able to come back and get your sign, subscribe. Thanks.